back into the room. I don't hear it now. Do you guys still hear it? Let me know. Do you still hear the echo? Let us know down in the comment section. You said it's an immediate echo? That's so wild. I literally was just on live and there was no echo. So we're going to try to add Bryon again. Okay, not now. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens, y'all.
Is that better?
I don't know. Do y'all hear echo? Do you hear it?
Not really. No.
Okay. Well, I'll do less talking and let you do a lot more of it.
Okay.
All right, so tell us how you got into styling in general. Like, well, first of all, where you from?
I'm from LA. I'm from Compton and Watts. I'm like LA born and raised.
Okay. How did you get into this? Like, walk me through the entire situation.
Um, as cliche as it sounds, but I've always been into fashion since I was like 4 years old. When I was four, my mom and sisters took me to see What's Love Got to Do with It, which they should not have at the age of four. But I remember watching Ike and Tina, and especially Ike, where I didn't understand why he looked so different from all the other guys in the movie, and how he was just always just his hair, his outfits, everything about him was just so different about everybody else. And I remember asking questions always about why did Tina have on this shiny stuff and this stuff that was moving. As a 4 year old, I was very like blown away by what I was, seeing on the screen.
Okay.
And so I remember going home and my mom and sisters are like, that's called fashion. Like, that's their style and so on and so forth. So from that moment, that's where it began for me. And I remember seeing In Vogue on TV, like not much longer after that. And they were the first thing that I saw on TV that was similar to the silhouettes that I saw from Tina Turner. From that moment, it was just like I knew at the age 4 or 5 that fashion was for me. So and like junior high, I used to sell like jewelry and denim jean purses with rhinestones on them that I used to make out of Levi's. And then when I got to high school, I kept doing the same thing, hustling, started working in retail, and I would like make the same jean purses. I was class president, so we had to raise money. So we would do like, I would produce fashion shows like during the lunchtime or after school to raise money so we can like, have money for our senior activities. So it's just always been in me of just fashion in general. And after that, I got my first internship at age of 19 with Lori Phillips, who was the Black Eyed Peas stylist at the time. So their last album, The End, I worked on that with her of like tour prep and videos and things like that. So it was like a very hands-on internship. Yeah.
So what happened after that?
So in the process of me working with her, I also was in school doing visual merchandising at like a local community college here in LA, and it was it was cool, but it just wasn't for me. And I ended up getting a full-time job at Forever 21 as a visual merchandiser. And so I was doing that and working with Lori Phillips, like part-time interning and full-time working. And then I moved to Atlanta, trying to get into like TV and film wardrobe. But at the age of like 21, I didn't understand how that worked. So it didn't work for me. And I moved back and I got another internship with my friend Rebecca. And I worked with her as an intern and assistant, and then branched out on my own.
What led you to branching out on your own, though?
I think I branched out on my own like around the age 25, just because I had worked with Rebecca maybe about 2.5, 3 years. So I felt like it was time for me to like felt like she groomed me enough. I've learned enough as far as like the behind the scenes stuff, not just how to put a look together, but the behind the scenes portion about how to do a proper invoice, how to properly request clothing from designers and showrooms and things like that. So it was I felt like it was time for me to like I grew my wings and it was time for me to fly.
Were you afraid of doing that at first, or was this something that you felt really, really comfortable doing?
I was afraid, but I honestly, with the internships and like the two people that I assisted, they taught me how to properly set up on set and things like that. So it was obviously nerve-wracking, but it was what it was. It was time. Like, you know, scared money don't make no money. So I had to do what I had to do.
That's true. That's definitely true right there. Scared money don't make no money. Honestly, I feel like if that's something that people could take away, that's like a huge thing right there.
Yeah, no, it's not easy. Like in this industry, there, especially at that time, it was especially around that time where like Instagram. I remember Instagram was only for iPhone users, and now at this point, everybody now Boost Mobile, T-Mobile. I mean, Boost Mobile and Android. Everybody was able to get an Instagram, and that became the like job where everybody wanted to do. Where it was like, oh yes, I want to be a stylist. So it became very frustrating because there were a lot of people that wanted to be that were stylists that were like styling their auntie with their income tax check and going in their homegirl closet, putting an outfit on them and going to see Matt and get this shoe. Like, oh, I styled this. And it's like, that's not styling. So like at the time that I came in and branched off on my own, it was a very difficult and sometimes like, what's the word I'm looking for? Intimidating world. Like, because this is what I wanted to do, but it was oversaturated. Everybody was doing it. And it was like, all right, how can I make myself different? How am I going to continue to do this? Because this isn't a new job for me. This is something that I've always wanted to do since the age of 14. So how do I stay in this and keep going forward, even though that there are a million other people doing the same thing that I'm doing and saying that they're doing the same thing I'm doing, but they're not. So
Does that frustrate you?
yes, there was a time where, being completely honest, where I was frustrated, and I'll use the word jealous because it was, and just to be honest and like very transparent, like I was use the word jealous because I would see people getting opportunities that I wanted at the moment or that I felt like I can do better, and it made me feel away. But I also, in that very moment, God was like, if that was for you, I would have gave it to you. So there's no need to be jealous. Like, that's not how I raised you. That's not our relationship. So why are you jealous about somebody else's situation when you need to continue to work on yours, like work on your team, work on your craft, and what is your niche? And in that moment of like, that was like maybe around the age like 24-ish where I was feeling that way, 24, 25. And it didn't last. It lasted for like a season as far as like me feeling this type of like, ugh. But God quickly removed that negative energy out of me and helped me to build what works for me and not worry about anybody else. Because like I said, what's for me is for me and what's not is not. And that's something I have to realize even when there are like things that are on the table that can happen. And I'm like, oh, this blah, blah, blah. And then they don't go through. I used to be hurt, like butt hurt, like, fuck, I wanted that job. And I had to learn, if it's for you, it's for you. Because then you hear about other people that got that job and the budget wasn't this, or the hell that they have to go through of working with this client and the negative energy that that person brought around. So a lot of times God is blocking you from something that he does not want you to experience. So yeah, I had to like go through that.
That's crazy right there. That's a message.
Yeah.
Is it possible to name a person that maybe you didn't get the job for and you still kind of wish you could?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
No. But there's been some situations where even in my earlier career, I learned how like a lot of times, and not even just in fashion, but a lot of times we're like, oh, I can do that. I know how to do that. Why I didn't get this, and so on and so forth. And it's not even always about necessarily the talent. A lot of times it's a preparation that goes with the talent of how you conduct yourself on set, how you conduct yourself, not only with the talent, but with the producers and with the director of this job and who is the creative director. And if they want something specific, and understanding how you have to meet their needs as well as making the client happy and also being happy with the work that you're producing as well. So there are so many different things that you have to learn that are not just talent based, that you have to learn behind the scenes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What do you think distinguishes you from other stylists?
Um, I think what I'm just me. Like I am very detailed with my work, and especially if I have a vision for something or somebody gives me a vision, they're like, "Oh, I want this. I want she needs to wear a white dress, or I want to wear a white dress." I'm coming to set or coming to a fitting with hopefully 25 to 30 of those options of white dresses because they might tell you that day I want to wear a tube top and I want to wear my show my breasts, but then that day maybe they ate too much and the dress that they want is not going to show around their waistline that they want to. So then you need to find ways where if you need to do a belt or something that has some rouging around there. So I think for me what just sets me apart is just like, just being prepared. Like it just, and not saying that others are not, just like I'm just me. So I know how to convince a client as well. Like a lot of times people want to stay within their comfort zone, and I'm a person that's going to push you out of it. I love pushing my clients out of it. I love going back and forth with my clients in my own way to like, especially when I win and like I get the victory. It's like I'm very much like a I told you so type of person with my clients, but like in a very fun, playful way. One client in particular is like when I dress Jazmine Sullivan, we always would go back and forth in the fitting. Like she'd be like, "I'm not trying that on. That's not gonna look cute. I'm not doing this." And I'm like, "Okay." And we'll go through a whole fitting. And like towards the end, I'm like, "Just please try it on. Please, just do me a favor. It don't work. You right. I'm wrong." And I can say 80% of the time that that's happened, it's been the moment. It's been the look that she's worn for whatever it is that we were fitting for. So it's also about building that rapport and that relationship with your clients that they trust you, even if it's something, and that's why you're there and that's why they're paying you, because to come with a vision that they didn't see for themselves or to push them out of their comfort zone. A lot of times people will give you pushback, but sometimes if you're not happy with the work that you're producing, then that's not, sometimes it's not the job for you. Sometimes we will do a job just for the check because the check is cute, and it's like, cool, throw this right in the savings. I ain't tripping. But then there's a lot of times where you are unhappy with the work you consistently produce. And if that's not the passion that you have, then sometimes you got to let that go and just let go and let God and see what else is going to be for you.
How do you get your jobs? Like, do you have an agent or a
I don't
manager?
have an agent. I'm actually in the midst of looking for an agent or a manager. Um, I will say 75% of the jobs that I've or clients' jobs that I've had are things that I've went after, and a good portion is based off of relationships that I've had with people. So, like for instance, I worked on two of Drake's videos. Was that 2018, and I was styling Tiffany Haddish for it, and in the process of it, I became like just being me. The producers, the director, Karina, shout out to her, she's fucking amazing. They all like feel my vibe. They like the options I have for Tiffany, and there was a lot of other scenes that needed to be shot. So they asked me like, "Hey, would you like to style Sid from Sid?" Like, and I'm like, "Yeah." Then they were like, "Would you like to do Yar Shadidi?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And they're like, "Okay, we also have a scene with 50 extras. Do you want to do that?" "Yeah." "We also have another scene with 10 extras. Can you do that?" And I'm like, "Yeah." So a lot of jobs came from just me being on set and building that relationship with people. And then some jobs have come from relationships, and later down the line somebody is sending me an email like, "Hey, working on this project, or I know about this project. Someone, producer I know is doing this, and I thought you would be great for it. I submitted your name and your page and your website, so hopefully, they reach out to you, blah, blah, blah." And that happens that way as well. But a lot of times I'll be a bugaboo. If I want something, I'm going after it. Like I got Jazmine Sullivan by sliding into her best friend's DMs like, "Hey, I know she's going to the BET Awards in 2-3 months. What can I do? I would love to work with her." I got Tiffany Haddish by one of my friends, Shayla, who's amazing. She worked for Will Packer Productions. Super, super dope woman, but I was bugging her. I was like, "I need her. I need her. I want her." To the point to where like one day I text her and she didn't reply, and this is how God works. And I was like, I know I'm bugging her at this point, but closed mouths don't get fed. And I ran into her at dinner that night. And it was like, oh shit, I did not text him back. And he was walking over here to say hi. Hey, Bryan. And it was like, but I didn't feel anyway because I understand how this business and this industry works. Like, she, tried to set it up and it didn't work out, but I was very like consistent about it. Like, hey. And so she ended up putting us on an email, and me and Tiffany were on the email going back and forth. And texting, and she's like, shit. And we were jumped on the phone, and she was like, do you want to meet, want to have a meeting? And I'm like, yeah. And of all places, I had Tiffany meet me at Saddle Ranch on Sunset, which is not a place that you go for a meeting. Like, that is not a fucking business place, no time of day at all. And we met at Saddle Ranch at like noon on some day, and we were there for like 3 hours just drinking and talking and just like conversing about things and eventually about work and things like that. So that's how my introduction with Tiffany happened.
Because I was about to ask about that.
Okay.
What was it like working with her? Because she seems fun.
Tiffany is a fool. What you see is what you get. That is Tiffany at all times. Like, Tiffany, like, I hate that I even admit this, but like, Tiffany was the type of person where she was like, I ain't got no titties, and my titties is flat like yours. So if you like a dress, I need you to try it on and send me a picture because we got the same body. So, like, there would be moments where, like, I legit had to try on dresses in my house and send her the picture just so she can see, and literally like, okay, cool, yeah, bring that one. I like that one. Oh, okay, yeah, that one too. Like, that's how, like, she was that person of like, but just even being on set, there was never a dull moment. Even when there were supposed to be dull moments, there weren't. So like, Tiffany is a fool. Like, yeah, it was very fun to work with her though. I remember she was working with someone at the time, and she was like, whenever the time is right, we, gonna make this work. And I hit her about a shoot about a couple months later, and we ended up doing a test shoot together. She loved it, and she hit me. It was like, hey, I'm doing SNL, like I'm hosting, and I would like I want to see if you could send me some options, like, blah blah blah. And so I was like, when is it? And she was like, November something. I was like, what's crazy? I'm actually gonna be out there that day. I was lying my ass off as I got on my computer, bought my one-way ticket because I was like, oh, I'm gonna be there because I'm like, I'm not gonna mail you no clothes. Like, it's especially for a first fitting of like for something big like this. So I had to pay it forward, and I bought my ticket there. Two of my best friends live in New York. I was like, yo, I'm coming. I'm about to stay with you. I'm selling Tiffany for SNL. I'm finna make this shit work, and that's how it happened.
How do you travel with clothes like that?
It's a bitch. Like, you have to have it's the long, big, black body bag, like, things that you see. Like, that's what I travel with. And then I also travel with, like, they kind of look like, it's a case-looking hard thing where, like, if you're traveling with, like, shoes and certain accessories and bags and things like that, like, with a hard case. But traveling with stuff like that is not easy. Like, on a minimum, I'm looking at $500 in baggage fees both ways on a minimum, like, depending on what I'm working on. Like, yeah. Brittany, it is too much. My niece is in the comments, and she's helped me with those bags before, and she knows that it's, yeah. When I just went to Milan with Saweetie, it was $1,500 in baggage fees. And not because of, like, because baggage fees, especially international, go way up. So, like, say if it's like $50 for an extra bag, and then $100, and then it'll cap at $150. International fees, that should go up to like $300-$400 each additional bag. And then if it's overweight, like, it gets crazy. But it's, yeah, it gets. And the thing is, you always want to overpack because you never want to be like, damn, if I wish I had that black boot that was the thigh high, not the calf high, because of blah blah blah. So, like, you always have to always over prepare. But when I went to New York for Tiffany for SNL, I think I took like 3 suitcases, so it wasn't that bad. It wasn't, but it was enough, but it wasn't that bad. But them pieces hit.
How do you develop relationships with, like, designers? How does that trust develop?
So a lot of times it's a very funny thing of like, you cannot have like, you can't be sensitive in this industry at all, because a lot of times you send somebody a request like, hey, I'm dressed in such and such for this, I would love to put this look, and they'll be like, unfortunately at this time, that's how the email always starts off when they're denying you. Unfortunately at this time, we have no samples available. Or they'll flat out, sometimes they'll tell you like, that girl or that guy is not who our client is, like in their world of who they are looking to dress and things like that. And you can't take it in a personal way, because it's just, it is what it is. And a lot of times those same people circle around where like, sometimes they'll let you come in, they'll let you then come in like, the collection from 2 years ago is available and these are the pieces that you can pull. And then sometimes you pull what you can depending on who it is that you're working for, if you are not able to get a lot of pulls from different designers and showrooms, and you make those pieces hit. And then that's how you build that relationship where you sometimes convince them, you're basically convincing them that your client is that girl or is that guy, and making sure that they look right. And boom, then it's like, oh my God, they got so much press. Our spring 2020 collection is available. What do you guys have coming up? We would love for you guys to come in and blah, blah, blah. Oh, our show and this is here. Are you guys available? Are you guys going to be in New York? Are you guys going to be here? We would love to have such and such sit front row. It's really about like proving a point and really just like, and not taking it personal, because a lot of times you're going to get those no's, and sometimes you're going to get those yeses that you would never think that you would get. So it's about just doing what you got to do.
So we had an interesting question. It's from Princess Rod. She says, do you pay for the bags up front and then reimburse?
Oh, no. Yeah. Depending on who and what you're working on. So in talking situation, I paid for it because she was like, I told her I was going to be there. So there was no like, hey, like there was none of that. It was like, I'll pay your fee, blah, 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 like for what you charge. But there was none of that in that moment. And this was like very early on in her career. And this is when I'm trying to get the job with her. So I had to, pay it forward. But when you are traveling and things like that, I personally, I'm not traveling without that wire hitting my account. And there are times, and there are times where you do have to pay it forward. Like where sometimes the accountant is taking too long. Sometimes just some shit is just not going on the way that it needs to. And sometimes you gotta thankfully have a savings account where you can do something and it's not affecting how you're moving at the moment. Charge it in your credit card, or whatever it is that you need to do to get there, because at the end of the day, the job needs to be done. But most of the time, 90% of the time, that wire should be hit first, and then that's how you pay for it. And then, and there are some times too where you do have to pay it in advance and send in the receipts and be reimbursed for it. So it's like, it's like a 60-40.
Okay. So we got a comment. Jazmine says, Bryan helped my niece style her prom look. Thank you for answering her DM.
Who's
so
your niece?
Shout out for that. I don't know. I just wanted to make sure that you saw that. So another question I have for you is, how did you get connected with Saweetie?
So I got connected with Saweetie by my big bros, Mike and Wayman, who I love dearly. Mike and Wayman are great stylists. They style like Tessa Thompson. They style Regina Hall, Regina King. Like, they do everybody. Mary J. Blige, they're amazing. And so they actually brought me on a project that they were working on with Saweetie. And they were like, we really think this is a great girl for you to work with, that we can see you develop, because you're that person where you develop people and you have a certain eye for people and see, you see in the future. And so they brought me on a project that they were working on with her like last January. So we worked on that together, and it was just smooth selling of like working with her, and it just worked. And it was so crazy because when she came to set, introduced myself. She was like, we met before. And I was like, really? And I was like, and she was like, yeah, you did a panel. I did a panel for Fashion Bomb Daily like 4 years ago. And she was there. Ooh, something for real. I did a panel with her. I did a panel and she was there and she was in. I remember she came. She was like, I came up to you and Zara like a year after that to tell you like, you know, you spoke so dope on the panel and how inspiring you were and so on and so forth. And I was like, damn, it was just crazy of like just a full circle moment. And so that's how my introduction came with her. And then, you know, we took it from there.
Do you have any favorite moments with her? Because you've done fashion weeks with her as well.
Yes. I have a lot of favorite moments with Saweetie. I would probably say, I think one of my favorite moments was this year's Grammys with the Moschino look. That was one of my favorites because I wanted her to wear a gown that like didn't have a split and that wasn't so like sexy, because we know that she can do sexy. She has an amazing body, so I wanted to challenge myself to make her still look sexy but still be covered at the same time, and to prove to myself, prove to her as far as my work, and just prove to everybody in the fashion world that like she can be that fashion girl, still give you sexy and not give you a high split or, you know, breast, you know, boom boom bow. Like, you know, I really wanted to like challenge myself in that. And it was when I showed her. I don't show Saweetie many things in pictures because a lot of times things don't read the way that they should in a picture. And Saweetie would be the person like, I don't like that. Like she'll tell me in a minute, like, I don't know, Bryan. And so I try not to send her pictures because she will like be like, ah. So when we did the fitting, the Moschino team came by. We did it early one morning. We actually did it the Saturday, the day before the Grammys. Actually, that Friday or Saturday before the Grammys was our fitting. And when she saw it, she was like, "Okay, that's cool." And then like once she put it on, it was like, "Oh shit!" Like this is, and I'm like, "Yeah, this is it. Like listen to me, just trust me." And it was perfect. So that was one of my favorite moments. I also loved our Prada moment in Milan Fashion Week. Was a great moment for me. And what else? This Angel Brinks look that this custom look Angel Brinks made for us last year for a video we were doing. I wanted her to give like a new age kind of like rapper version of Mary J. Blige's Not Gonna Cry video. Not Gonna Cry look with the scarf and the glasses and the trench coat. So she had on like a blinged out trench coat with bra and panties under, with like some Jessica Rich like clear sandal heels and a scarf like veil thing made of the same fabric. And it was just like that shit was hidden, and she didn't know I was getting that made. So when I came to set with it, she was like, "Yo, you're crazy. This is fucking ridiculous." So yeah, I've had a couple great moments with her, and I'm excited for what we have coming. It's stupid.
Okay. How long in advance do you plan for Fashion Week?
So it depends, honestly, because a lot of times it's like looks wise, it could be day of, it could be a week before. It just depends on what shows we're confirmed for in advance and what shows are dressing her and things like that. So a lot of times, especially if it's in New York or Milan, whatever, I try not to travel with looks that people, if they're dressing her for the show, I like to pull the looks or get the looks delivered to the hotel when we're in that place, just to not travel with it. So sometimes it's the day before, sometimes it's day of, just depending on how much time we have for prepping or whenever we are allowed to get the pull that we're pulling from, said designer, or if we're going to a party, or if it's a dinner or the Harper's Bazaar gala, things like that, we'll do a fitting. Hopefully, when she first gets in town, if she don't like, tell me like, "Bryan, I'm going to sleep. I'll see you tomorrow." I try and get it in advance so that we can get everything tailored and do all of that in advance so that we have no hiccups as we're moving along. Because Fashion Week, that shit be like this. Like, it'll literally be, "Oh, it's only 3 shows today," and they're later in the day. And that shit'll be one show at 3, they start late, and the next show's at 5 o'clock, and we got to get her back to the hotel to change, because she want to change her hair. Then it's a dinner we got to get to, so then now she has to change in the car, and then there's a show at 10 o'clock that she has to be at. So like it'd be like this, like it's nonstop. So it's best to do it in advance so that you know what she's wearing. Alterations are done. We've tried alterations on again because she wants everything 5 inches taken in on that waist. Like there's been moments where I'm like, you're gonna break the zipper. Like it can't go in no more. Like yeah, like, and so it's always great to do it in advance because a lot of times it'll be spare the moment shit, and if something don't look right, they get on that carpet and it's baggy and backing and don't fall right in that front, and that be the picture that we get that that goes everywhere. It can mess everything up.
I have an interesting question here. Someone asked, how often do you pull from independent designers?
All the time. I pull from independent designers all the time, and that's one thing, especially like Saweetie. She loves like independent design. She loves Black designers. That is something that like we do a lot, whether if it's a video, whether if it's a photo shoot or whatever. I love like new designers, independent designers. Like I love all that shit because for me it's even doper where your client is wearing something that nobody knows who that this client hasn't had that this designer hasn't had a moment on a major carpet. So then you're like, yo, what does she have on or what does he have on? Because that looks different from what everybody else is wearing, and that shit is dope. And then never heard of this, so it's a really dope thing of like how to start great relationships in that way as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the rules are simple.
Oh my god.
Where did that come from? And for those that don't know, can you tell them what that is?
The rules are simple is my saying. I have it tatted on me. It is trademarked, so don't try it. The rules are simple.
Yes.
Actually came up, honestly, of me. I'm always talking shit. That's just who I am as a person in a fun way. And somebody said something, and it was like about wearing all white. And they were like, that is not a fashion rule. You can't wear that to Labor Day. And I was like, ain't no rules. And they was like, what you mean ain't no rules? And I was like, the rules are simple. And then it just started from there. And I was like, wait, I kind of like that. And it just worked. And then my other saying, like, Hannah Bitches They Issue, just came with like looking at, I forgot what I was looking at. And I was like, I need to describe this because this isn't just like a dope ass look. Like this is an actual like action that's being done right now. And so it's honestly just comes from me talking shit, really, and being me.
Okay.
And unapologetic. Yeah.
Do you prefer dress styling for men or women more?
I don't have a preference, but I have more fun styling women. So I end up, I mean, my clientele is 80% women, but I have more fun because of, say, certain guys, like if they were, depending on who they are, like they're going somewhere, they have to wear a suit or casual or whatever. There's only so many things as far as like you can put a guy in, but with women, all different shapes, different sizes, different skin complexions, different heights, and different styles. Some want to be ultra sexy, some don't want to be too sexy, or some want to be sexy with a turtleneck and a pant on. So how do I make this look sexy and things like that? So there's so many more things that you can do with a woman's body styling wise than you can do with a guy. And there's been so many moments where somebody's running out and I'm like in the car taking their earrings off, or there's been moments where I've taken jewelry from my assistants to put on my client for a video or for a red carpet because it looked so much better. It made that look a little bit more edgier. And so I have more fun with women styling because the silhouettes, you can just have so much fun with it. Like there are moments where they want to be a tomboy. There's moments where they want to be like tomboy chic, or they want to just be ultra sexy. I want to wear a bikini, but how can I wear a bikini that doesn't look like the typical bikini? So then, all right, let me see what designer has something with different prints and different cover-ups, and let's do a hair wrap with this. Or like, it's just so many different things that you could do with women styling. And like, I love styling men, but I do have more fun styling women.
So I have an interesting question here from the comments, and it is, do some of your clients have other stylists, and how do you work with that?
Yes. Sweetie has another stylist that she works with that does like different projects as well. So, um, there are a lot of teams and a lot of different like celebrities that have other stylists that they work with. Like some people have people that can do just red carpet looks, or some people do just videos, like depending on what like that person feels like they want them to do it. So as long as it's communicated and there's not miscommunication, I think it works amongst everybody as far as like knowing, what is what, and there's never like a cross type of thing where like you're not styling somebody or pulling for the same thing and things like that. It's just always about communication from the client's team.
Have you ever had any issues with that?
Um, I've had an issue years ago with a former client where, and this happens a lot, especially in just keeping it a buck. It happens a lot with black stylists where your clients sometimes they sign with like new publicists, and the publicist world is to put on who they know and will be best in their eyes in their world. So I had a situation where I was styling somebody for a book. I had a client and I was styling them for something, and I was on my way to the client's to the fitting, and I'm like, hey, I'm going to running like a little bit behind, blah blah blah. And the client is like, wait, huh? And I'm like, for our fitting, and they're like, wait, they didn't hit you? And I was like, who? And so, making a long story short, their publicist had booked another stylist for that job because they wanted them to try someone else. They wanted them to try someone white, and they wanted them to try somebody who had a larger clientele. And I get it. It's a game. It's part of the game. Like you have to understand that. Oh, hey Toya. It's part of the
We
game.
got LaToya Luckett in the room.
And that's one of my favorite people, one of my favorite clients as well. But in that moment, I was hurt. I was upset. And making a long story short, the client ended up the stylist put the client in something that I had on a rack the week before. And the client told me that they didn't like it and that they weren't going to try it on. And then that's what they ended up wearing to the thing. So it was a very, like, a laughing matter. And it was like, trusting your gut instinct of like knowing that you're dope. Because in that moment, I was like, I was hurt. I felt some type of way. And making a long story short, I got a text that night for the bookings of everything else that was coming up. So, I have to trust myself and trust my dopeness.
How do you balance your clients?
It it's it can be a hard thing balancing. It's really about having a team, and like even like LaToya, like around the time when LaToya was getting married, that's a different kind of preparation. So there's like prepping for like going to do fittings for a wedding dress, and that's not just a one fitting thing. That's multiple fittings, and making sure that your client is not losing too much weight or gaining weight for this thing, and then having to deal with that, and then having a video shoot, and then having another client for a red carpet thing all around the same time. And I will never forget around Toya's wedding, I was working with Tiffany. We were doing press in New York. And so I had to prep everything in advance for Tiffany because I had to leave from New York to go to Texas to prep for her wedding. And it's just about having a great team and also being very, having great communication with your client and your client's team as well, because sometimes clients don't want you to have an assistant there. They want you. But if you are well prepared in advance, you have that sometimes don't have a choice because you can't be everywhere at once. And so you have to prioritize certain things of knowing how to be in this place where if you got to be at somewhere in New York, that's mandatory that morning. That's mandatory for like Good Morning America at 6 a.m. And then you got another client that has a show in Atlanta that night. You have to learn how to have great assistants where, okay, set this up, get this done, make sure your client's ready, and you got to hit it off to the airport and get to the next job. And sometimes you are not even able to be at that job. Sometimes you have to send an assistant. So it's always great to have a great team and people that your clients are comfortable with and they have no issue with, and they don't feel like they're being shortchanged with having an assistant there with them, they still feel that they're getting the same service. Because I work in the service industry, so regardless of me just putting dresses on people, but like we're sometimes therapists and sometimes they're venting about things. You need to make sure that the client feels comfortable, and because sometimes you become like family, or you become friends and things like that. So it's all about that balance of having a great team. And I've been blessed to, I've had moments where I've had horrible assistants and interns, but right now my assistant Kim is fucking amazing. She has came in and saved my life, where my clients feel comfortable with her, whether she's there and I'm not there, she is there, and like doing certain things. It's about having a great team, and like where the core of your business is going well, because not all the time you're able to be there. There's times I'm on set and I got to send my assistant out to do pulls. You need somebody that knows your eye. You need somebody that understands what you're looking for. You got to know, Sweetie is not going to want this dress, or Amanda cannot wear this on a reel. That's showing too much cleavage. Like, you have to have people on your team that understands you, understands your eye, and also it's not doing it just like as an assistant, but working their ass off just as if it was their job as well.
So we got Latoya gave you the cosign. He's the damn best. You're getting a lot of love from a couple of other stylists. Thank you guys for commenting in the chat. So listen, I have a question here. It says, how do you balance being a single father and your busy career?
I have play kids, Fendi and Junior, that I always refer to. That's my friend name. Fendi is my daughter. We have a really close relationship, and sometimes I post about her. You guys will catch her every now and then. My child's father name is LaFons. We have a very difficult relationship, so it's all about co-parenting.
Okay. So can you tell me any trends that you wish would die, like style-wise?
Okay. Fellas.
Uh-oh.
There are different shoes for brunch than Chelsea boots. There's a different, you don't always have to wear your brunch boot to brunch. Also, fellas, please stop wearing this round toe Urban Outfitters H&M Chelsea boot. Don't do it. Like that big round toe, like I hate that shoe. And the thing is, it's not even about having an expensive Chelsea boot. You can get a good Chelsea boot that's not expensive. That's going to run you $120. From like Steve Madden, they have good boots. Like, they have good Chelsea boots. Like, and I love a Chelsea boot, but like, I hate when I see them every Sunday at brunch. Every day, you went to brunch, then you went to Everyday People, and now you in the club with the same brunch. With the same boot. Like, switch it up. Like, when you got that black tip where it looked like you've been kicking tar on your Chelsea boot, that means it's time for a new one. Or just get a shoe eraser and just do this. Like, cause like it doesn't have to be an expensive Chelsea boot, but that's just something I'm over. That's a trend that I'm over. Ladies, love y'all, but we're not doing a neon no more this summer, if we get a summer. Because y'all didn't neon me the fuck out. I never seen so much glow-in-the-dark clothes and light. And they know what I'm talking about, too. Whether if they got it, yeah, y'all know what I'm talking about. The mesh, the neoprene, the spandex. I mean, what happened to girls wearing like I miss seeing girls wearing maxi dresses for summer. That shit I ain't seen a maxi dress in 2 years. Every girl is in neon. And also too, I love it because I have female friends that do it and it looks great. But also too, find that balance of females. I want to see y'all in heels at the club. I don't always want to see y'all in these tennis shoes. Like, no, like, put time into it. Put time into it. Find a boot, find a booty, find a heel that you can wear out. But like, stop coming to like the club with tennis shoes on, if it's not, and I'm not talking about day parties, but I'm talking about you're going to the club after 11 p.m. and you're in the club with a dress on, lace, face beat, and you got on tennis shoes, and like, no. Like, no. Like, find that balance. It works sometimes, but not all the time. Like, don't let that be, there's nothing wrong with Chucks, but it's nothing wrong with Chucks, but I don't want to see Chucks. I don't want to see that big ass Balenciaga shoe all the time. I don't want to see your Balenciaga racers. I don't want to see all that in the club all the time. During the day, yes, but like take that time to get dressed. Like really do so, because women always complain about how a man may look in the club. And y'all all got on the same Gucci belt with your pants pulled down and shirt tucked in, but like, yeah, y'all all got on this same neon mesh crop top with the Balenciaga racers. Y'all all got it on. All looking like a pic collage that somebody posted. Like everybody got on the same uniform. I hate it.
Okay, and so real quick, what is something that every man and every woman needs to have in their wardrobe?
Every man in the now, I'm not trying to contradict myself. I think every man needs a Chelsea boot, but it needs to be the right Chelsea boot. I think every man also needs to have a nice white crisp shirt. I'm sick of seeing guys, the same guys that spend $1,200, $1,500 on this tennis shoe and popping bottles at the club. When it's time to get dressed, they got on this I'm finna go to court shoe and like ill-fitting like slacks. The same way that your jeans, you want your jeans to fit nice, get a nice suit. Go get a tailor. It doesn't have to be an expensive suit. Zara has great inexpensive suits. H&M has great inexpensive suits. So does Top Man, and one of my favorite places, ASOS. If you know your sizing, all these things, if you're unsure, go a size up and go get a tailor. It's nothing like a great tailored suit. And I think every man needs a great suit, because I hate when people need to go somewhere. I don't have a suit to wear. You should always have a suit, no matter what it's for. You should have a suit where you can wear it with tennis shoes. You can wear it with dress shoes. You can wear it to a wedding if you need to go to a meeting and all those things, or going to a nice dinner, or going to like, you know, like if it's award season, going to the party, like, you know, and you have to wear a suit. Like every man should always have a great suit. And I think every woman should always have a great pair of black pumps. I think that's an essential for women, because a black pump you could wear, depending on your style. If you're feeling jazzy and funky, you could wear it with a dope sweatsuit. You just felt like switching it up and throwing that heel with a sweatsuit. Or you can wear those black pumps with a white t-shirt, some cut-up jeans, and those heels. Or you could wear it, you at the pool and you don't plan on getting in. You wear your little sandal, your little pumps, or your little one strap sandal at the beach, at the pool with your girls. Like, so I definitely think a black pump and a black strappy shoe is an essential for girls. One of my favorite strappy shoes is the Stuart Weitzman nudist shoe. It's my favorite shoe for women. Like, it's like $3.95. It can be, you know, depending on who you are, like it can be on a little pricier, but it's a great shoe. It's comfortable and it goes with everything.
What advice would you give? Because I see we had some questions about people who wanted to style. What is some advice that you would give to someone who wants to get started in this? I mean, the real advice.
Intern. And I say that over and over and over, because there are so many people that like, oh, I know how to put clothes together. It's not even about that. There are so many talented people that may put looks better together than somebody that's been in the game 15 years, but it's not even about putting the look together. Because almost anybody, if you like fashion, you like clothes, you can put a look together, but it's not about that. It's about understanding how to send that proper invoice. If you are working on a commercial, understanding that you got a $10,000 budget and you have to dress 12 people and they all, or yeah, you got to dress 10 people. You're not going to Barney's to get these looks, or you're not spending $1,200 on one pair of jeans for somebody because it's fashionable and they're about mine and look great. No, you got a $10,000 budget. It's an all-in budget, or even if it's not an all-in budget, you got a $10,000 budget. You got to dress 12 people for a video, for background or dancers or things like that. You need to learn how to make this money stretch. You need to learn how to have options. So doing that with internships, you learn how to go to certain things. So if I only got a $10,000 budget and I got to dress 12 people, I'm not going to Barney's. I'm going to H&M. I'm going to Zara. I'm going to Forever 21. If I'm going to go to Barney's, I'm going to go to the sales section to see what's on sale. If they want this exact look, okay, you might be able to get something that's last season that was once maybe $1,200 that's now on sale for $350, and learning how to mix and match those highs and lows so that the client is happy, the directors are happy, and production is happy. You also have more than enough options as well. And then a lot of people think it's just red carpet. Like, there's so many other jobs. There's commercials. Like, there's commercials. There are getting in the union and doing set jobs and, you know, doing TV shows and movies and things like that. There's so many things of the behind the scenes that you would never learn on your own that you have to learn being under somebody. And there's so much that I would have not known. There are so many jobs that I was like, I could have did that. I could have put that together. I saw that, and it's like, it's not about that. What credit cards you got that you can put on file? Or what relationship do you have with that designer? Or what designer have you put somebody in and they got so much coverage, and you have this new client that nobody knows and nobody's lending to. They don't have a budget, but you really want to do this job because it's a passion job. This client, this designer that you got so much press may owe you a favor, and sometimes they may allow you to give you that one-off moment because you did give them press and they owed you something. So these are things that you learn working under people and learning how to spread budgets. And sometimes, a lot of times too, people don't understand what an all-in budget is. So all-in budget is your rate and the budget for the clothing. So you got a $20,000 all-in budget for a video or for a photo shoot or for something, and you spend $17,000 on these looks because they wanted all designer looks, and now you only $3,000, and then now you got to pay for dry cleaning, you got to pay for your assistants, you got to pay for these rental fees and all these different things. You're not making no money at the end of that. So you working under somebody, you learn how to, okay, they want designer looks, so let me go to the rental house because I'm not going to spend $5,000 on this one dress when it's an all-in thing where at the end of the day, I'm making what I don't spend. So I'm going to go to the rental place. I'm going to go do pools, and then I'll go buy what I need to once I have everything that I know that I can't find elsewhere. And so you really learn so much. And me as an intern and as an assistant, I learned things that I would have never learned on my own because of just the experience that I got working under people, learning how to go to certain different showrooms if I'm working on a Hanes commercial versus if I'm styling somebody for the Grammys and different things like that, where it's different worlds where, yeah, it's still fashion, you're still doing these things, but also learning if you're doing something and it requires blue jeans and a t-shirt, not showing up with 3 pair of jeans and 2 t-shirts. No, that's showing up to set with 2 racks of white tees, short sleeve, long sleeve, ribbed, cotton blends, spandex, tank tops, sports bras that can work under, different kind of undergarments in case that once the white gets on the camera and a certain flash shows, then it might reveal under, like, or you don't want to see a colored bra, making sure that you have a good amount of undergarments and bras that are close to the client's skin tone, so that in editing and post, that they don't have to do a lot they don't have to do a lot of editing and things like that. And having different blue jeans where that rip on the thigh might be a little bit too much for a JCPenney's ad, or for a commercial or something like that, where there are different things where, like, you really have to understand the client and who you're selling the look to, but covering every aspect. I did a Old Spice commercial, and it literally took 72 hours to get a basketball scene outfit approved, where me and my team had to go to at least 10 different stores, 3 different JCPenney's, different Targets, because there had to be no logo, and make sure that, like, and get, when I tell you we had racks for just two looks of two men playing basketball, and then the look got approved, and then one of the higher ups were like, "Oh, those are actually the colors for Degree, so we can't use that for Old Spice commercial because that green is too close to Degree. So now we need to go back to to finding something else." So you have and also not being frustrated and not taking things personal, understanding to always be over prepared, where you sometimes you gotta make something out of nothing. So yeah, you can't panic on set, because if you panic on set, they're looking at you like, "Oh, you don't know what you're doing," because that's just what it is. There's been moments where our Sweetie will tell me what she want, and I get to set, and I have it or go to a fitting, and she'll be like, "Oh, I was actually thinking this," and I'm like, "Sweetie, you know you got to leave in 2 hours, or actually in an hour, and you still got to do hair and makeup. It's 7 p.m. There's nothing open right now." Okay, so but this is what I want to wear. So how can we figure that out? And in a moment, you gotta. There's been some moments I didn't cut some shirts up, added some safety pins, ran something to the dry cleaners up the street to get something sewn up, and you gotta make magic. You gotta make that shit, but you won't learn that just doing it on your own, because you can't take things personal. As long as somebody's not disrespecting you, and somebody is not talking to you in a way that is like not okay, you gotta rise to the occasion. And that's one thing that, like, with my clients, and like specifically Sweetie, she'll be like, "Yo, how you make this shit happen?" Like, and I'm like, because it needed to be done. I like cash and check, so that's why that's how it happened. I love what I do, and I had to rise to the occasion. You can't, like, can't sit there and just be like, ugh. But you learn so much when you're working under somebody else, of different scenarios of how things can go. Because there'll be moments where things can be smooth selling and go fucking amazing, but then there can be moments where you get somewhere and client get out the car to get on the red carpet, whole back of the fucking dressing open in the zipper. Safety pins ain't gonna fix that. So what are we gonna do? This needle and thread ain't gonna. So sometimes, like, I learned that you gotta use it was something that they use for like cow.
So we got dropped off because IG Live only allows us to go for about an hour.
So we just waiting on Bryan to rejoin us. So IG Live only allows you to go for an hour.
Yeah. I didn't know when our hour was coming. But
honestly, for real, I wasn't even looking at the time, and it was so good. I was like, I don't want to stop.
I wasn't even looking at the time. I'll wait for them to come in a little bit more.
Yeah, I mean, what you just gave people was like,
no,
amazing.
there's been moments where, like, and the thing is too, everybody works so different on set. Like, even when I was on set before with Micah and Wayman last year, just seeing how they operate. Every stylist has their own thing of like how you like my real life special. Everybody has their way of working and setting up and things like that. So, like, it's all about learning, because you're not gonna know how to set up a proper fitting the right way if you have not worked under somebody. You're not going to know how to send a proper invoice. You're not going to know sometimes that you need to have your money saved up, because a lot of these jobs sometimes can be net 30, net 60, net 90. And even if those things, sometimes that 90 day didn't came and you ain't on this money and you still ain't got it. And so you got to send them another message. So, like, you have to learn how to save and be okay, and not like, if you can help it, it's not an industry for you to work from paycheck to paycheck, because sometimes it can take 3 months for you to get paid for something. And sometimes, depending on what you're working on, you can get paid that day. I've had clients where I didn't got to set, and they management or they done handed me the check before we even start trying on shit. And I'm like, oh, I like this. But then there's been moments where I remember there was a TV network where and I'm not bushing you, I just got a check last month from something I did in fall of 2018. I had to like forget about the check because I'm like, thank God that ain't paying my car note. Like, but like, yeah, like, so you learn these things working under people, of like just how things work.
How and how do you ensure that you get paid?
So how I ensure that I get paid now, being that I don't have an agent or a manager, for certain jobs I have had I've used an agent before, and I've also used a publicist who just negotiated a job. Shout out to Vanessa Anderson, who had like where I did like my Old Spice commercial. I did some stuff with Khloe Kardashian show, Revenge Body, things like that, where she negotiated things for me and got my money up front or got me to get this and things like that. So if it's things that I'm doing on my own, you can't be scared when it comes to money. Like, you know, like if you don't have an agent, you don't have a manager, and you got to be the one in control of your money, you really got to like, you, ain't no bite, no tongue. Like, now don't be it in a disrespectful way, but just how you did that job and they wanted you to be there with them clothes, or they wanted you to be there with them brushes for that makeup, or they want you to be there with them tracks and them laces to do their hair, you also want your money as well. So you have to be very direct with whoever it is that you're supposed to be direct with about collecting the coin. And don't let people walk over you, because there'll be people that will not pay you. And it's also too, if you don't think that the job is not right, don't do it. If you feel like it's not paying you enough and it's stressing you out, don't do it. It's somebody right now that, because I'm saved, I'm not even going to mention her name, that owe me $2,500 right now from a job I did with her 3 years ago when nobody wanted to dress her, like designer wise, and I begged because I had relationships with these people, and I was like, I was like wanted to do it, and I dressed her for something and never got paid, and I had to take that L, and I'm blocked on her. She blocked me on her Instagram and things like that because I was petty before, like run me my money and comments and everything, but you have to. But also too, there are a lot of things that, like, if you have people that you look up to, don't be afraid to ask them for advice.
Right.
Don't be afraid. Like, I'm a person, I don't care what I'm working on. If I trust you with some things, I will share idea with you. Like my friend Rebecca, who I used to assist, like one of my closest friends now, like literally I'll show her some designs like, Becca, what you think about this? And it's not an intimidation thing of like, oh, I don't want somebody to see what I'm doing or what I'm working on. Like, there, you have to have your core circle of people. I don't share everything with everybody, but then I'll be like, hey, Becca, this person is, I can't get no dresses for this, or who got shoes? Where can I blah blah blah? Or I hit my boy Pooja, or I hit Mike and Wayman like, hey, what y'all got in your studio? Because I need something and I'm not being able to find anything for this from this person. Like, can y'all help me out? What do y'all have there? Or people would hit me like, hey, I'm doing this person, and I know you usually have this type of stuff. Do you have anything in your studio? What do you have that I can come pull, or so many things like that? It's really about like, working across and really building that relationship with your friends and people that you respect, because we all need each other in some aspect. Like, there are moments where it is red carpet, middle of red carpet, and like red carpet season, sorry, and you need a size 10 shoe. And I need Jimmy Choo, I need Louboutin, I need whoever else. And they're like, oh, all of our size 10s, most of our size 10s are gone, like such and such just picked them up, blah, blah, blah. Literally, hey, Michael Wayman, I know y'all got a size 10 for Mary right now. Is she not wearing that? Because I need it for Sweetie, because I don't have any shoes right now. Or what can y'all do? Or Colin, like, yo, I need a size 7 for this client. What you got over there? And and I got this. The designer said it's okay. Cross-reference with each other, double check, make sure it's cool, and then boom. you got that shoe because they don't need it anymore, but it was already pulled. But you won't be able to get that if, like, you know, it's just about creating relationships amongst each other and helping each other out. There's been
Yeah.
moments where I've had assistants leave jobs to go run and go drop off something to somebody that needed something on set because what I had could have helped them out, and vice versa. So it's really, like I said, it's about interning, it's about building relationships and just like really understanding, like, don't be afraid to ask for help. Cause I'll call somebody in a minute. I don't care. Like, I don't have no ego. There's no chip on my shoulder. Like, yo, I need this. Like, what you got? Or can you help me with this? Or, hey, I need this look. They were trying to charge me $5,000. Who you know that can do it for $2,500? Like, or what tailor you got? That's the number one thing where, like, you got to be friends with people in this industry, because when you need a tailor, that'd be like, sharing a tailor is like, yo, it's like a drug. Like, yo, I got this. Who you got? Like, I got this. Like, please help me. I'm got to fit in an hour. Is your girl gonna be done? Do you think you can send her to me? We will pay her double. We need this. And like I said, it's just about relationship and just really being there for other people as they will be there for you as well.
Listen, honestly, I feel like you gave us way more than I think any of us were expecting today.
Yeah,
Will you at some point come back and chat with us?
absolutely. I mean, where am I going? Where are we going? Like, because they didn't told us May 16th in LA. We gonna be in this house for a long periodically time.
Okay, so we might as well educate these people, okay?
Yeah, absolutely.
So I want to say thank you for being so open.
Huh?
I want to thank you. I said I want to thank you for being so open. I want to thank everybody in the chat for joining us. And
I just want to
Brian,
see
you
if anybody
say,
has any last questions before we go.
huh?
I just want to see if anybody had any last questions before we
Oh
went
yeah, I wasn't even.
that we didn't
It wasn't
cover.
even scrolling up. Let me see. Have you ever done anything for free to get your foot in the door?
Absolutely, absolutely. I remember one of my first jobs solo was working with Don Robinson from En Vogue, and it was for R&B Divas, the show. She had some promo stuff, and I was like, absolutely. Like, I volunteered myself. I knew her. One of my best friends, her sister was doing her makeup, and I was like, tell her I do it. I won't charge. I want to do it. And she,
We got Lance Gross in the room.
Lance, don't hate on my red light special. Setting the mood to talk to the people. But I was like, I want to do this job. I don't care. Like, she doesn't have to pay me. I needed stuff for my portfolio. I needed stuff for my Instagram. I needed, to build that up, and it worked out. So yeah, but so there's some times where early on in your career, you will have to do some things for free, and it is what it is. There's nothing wrong with that. It's nothing to be ashamed of. Like, you got to do what you got to do. I'm pretty sure, like, even like actors and singers and things like that, the people that we want to work for have done showcases, that have done independent films that are not funded, that they did it because they needed a reel, or they needed to have something, some footage or some things that they've done for free. So you have to do what you have to do to get your foot in the door.
Yeah.
But don't let anybody take advantage of you doing things for free.
Well, how do you know when? How do you know when to stop?
You just know when to stop. Like, it ain't. I'm not doing it for no going on for like no. It wasn't no 6-month thing. Like, I'll do it for a couple of times, and then after maybe the third time, it's like, all right, cool. So, what you paying? And granted, like, especially early on, you can't be charging somebody out the gate like something bizarre. But like, somebody want to hit you with like, hey, we can do like $250 a look, like, in your early on in your career. Absolutely, do what you got to do, especially if it's somebody that you can build with, somebody that you are growing with, and it's very early on, and you don't have much access to certain things, and it's a first client. You got to do what you have to do to get in there, but just don't let anybody take advantage of you. That's like an important factor.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Let me see if I missed any questions. Oh, last question. How do you get clients to trust you?
you gotta grab them by the shoulder. I'm just playing. No. Honestly, proving yourself to them, like it's nothing that's not that doesn't happen all like from the get go. You have to allow them to. Here it is. How I kind of trick my clients. A client tell me they want something. I'll bring things similar to what they want, and I'll bring what I want. And sometimes you have to allow that client, if you think it's something foolish, if you think it's something that's not going to work, and they are adamant on that's what they want to wear, you got to let them wear it and get slammed on that carpet or get slammed in that video or get slammed on them blogs. And they come back looking at you like, all right, so what should we do? Like, okay, and you don't hit them with the "I told you so" type of thing. But for me, I get my clients to trust me where I will bring what they want, I'll bring what I want, and even some other extra things, and just kind of like push an envelope. If we have a look that's perfect, I want to try on a couple more things just to see if the silhouette works. Even if it doesn't work for this, it can work for something else. If we're doing a press conference and we got 12 interviews and we got 8 looks in, let's play with 4 of these looks that, like, you know, these eight here are great. Let's play with these 4. That's kind of like spice it up a little bit and like take a chance with some things, do a different boot with something, or do a different hairstyle with this kind of like this neckline of this dress and things like that. So you really have to like push them out of their comfort zone, and that's how they open up to trust you, because they're not just going to be like, oh, okay, I'll let you do anything. Like, no, they're like, you have to really allow them as baby steps. And even like with Saweetie, there's moments that we've done as of recent, like in fashion weeks, where she's like, I don't know about this. Like out of her mouth, as she got it on, like, we gonna see. I'm gonna trust you, and literally, I'm hit me with the hands up in the air. I'm gonna trust you, and get out, and the look is fire. Everybody's going crazy, and she'll give me that look like, all right, nigga, you was right. Like, I trust you, like that type of thing. So you have to allow them. You have to push them out of their comfort zone, but you can't be so stuck that if people aren't willing to try new things, or they're kind of like stuck in their comfort zone, you have to gradually push them out. So if they only want to wear black, start bringing in some charcoal gray. Start bringing in some light gray. If they only want to wear black, bring in a black and white pump. Bring in a brown belt. Different things that you can work in to bring in some color, and then eventually you find a way to where you can expand their like eye of like, okay, all right, I like that charcoal belt, or like you had a charcoal skirt. Let's try that. Like it's baby steps, because sometimes you're not just gonna get in and just like change everything. It has to be a gradual thing.
Okay.
So,
Perfect. Okay, well, this will be the last question because I want to hear the answer. Is the daily styling of Amanda different than Saweetie?
hell yeah, hell yeah. No, the difference between styling somebody like Amanda and styling somebody like Saweetie is, for instance, Amanda on the real. That's been our job since January 6th. So that has been our work 90% of the time is her for the real. So I have to style Amanda in the way that she wants to look. I also have to style Amanda in a way that the network is going to approve. So every other day, we're getting different regulations and guidelines that, oh, we can't show too much breast, or the skirt has to be now, it was 4 inches above the knee, the highest you can go. Now it needs to be at the knee. Sometimes it's below the knee. We can't show off the shoulders. We can only do that for Friday shows. And we got all these looks planned out already for the next 2 weeks. So I don't want to go to, I've already purchased these things, so I don't want to we don't have time to do refittings or different things like that. So let me add a mesh turtleneck with this dress that Amanda was going to wear with this corset top. Let me add a t-shirt with this. Let me add a blazer over this. Let's switch this up type of thing where it's been mostly for TV, and also being Amanda is an actress. So you're dressing Amanda as Amanda, and also having to be approved by, by the real and their producers. Dressing Saweetie, who's a rapper, who's a music artist, it's different because